My mom didn't get pregnant for the first time until she was 37. That's when she had my sister. She was 39 when she had me, and she had my brother when she was 41. She had no issues getting pregnant, no issues with her pregnancies. So for any woman stressed about timeline, marriage, kids, like, it is okay to start later. You have time. Everyone is on their own timeline.
Okay. This is the politically correct message, and this is everywhere. I see this. There were like 6 videos that I could have played that said the same thing. Oh yeah, my mom had her kids late and it all worked out. 37, 39, 41. And I'm telling you this as somebody who got pregnant on the first try at 40, was very lucky. But this is horrible advice. This is horrible advice. Women, it's okay to wait. Don't worry about it. Take your time. Start late. Everyone's on their own path. This is not the advice. Now, is it possible that you land in this position, that you do everything you can to try to prioritize meeting someone and starting that family early, and that you land in a position where you are older and that's just how it worked out for you and that was God's plan for you? That is possible, but should that be the goal? No. Should that be the advice, like a do this? No, it should not. Why? Because this is very, very, very obvious. In general, again, female fertility is best in your 20s. It's going to be on a decline in your 30s and then in your 40s. It just is. Even if you have good fertility, right? Again, 40, I get pregnant, first try, great. Okay, that worked out for me. But still, was my fertility better in my 20s? Yes, it was, right? It was. Also, if you start in your 20s and you're younger, you have more time. So if you decide you want 3 kids, but you want to take a 3 or 4 year break in between, you have those options. If you decide you only want 1 kid, but then 3 or 4 years later, you change your mind, you've got time. You've got time to do those things, okay? It's not beneficial to tell women, wait. Also, your attractiveness, when is it at its peak? When is it let's just be honest. My guess would be your late 20s for many women. Maybe some women, your early 30s, maybe. I'd probably say no. I'd say most women, it's probably sometime in the 20s that it peaks. And then it's going to go down, right? Your options are going to go down because a lot of men who want many children, if a guy says, I want 6 kids, or I want 3 kids, or I want 4 kids, they're going to be looking and saying, well, if I marry someone who's, 42, can I do that? Probably not. If I marry someone who's 36, can I do that? Well, maybe, yeah. Is it harder, though, than someone who's 26? If that's your goal. Now, if you're a guy who says, well, maybe I'll have a kid, maybe I won't, that's a different thing, right? Your priorities are different. But I'm talking about men who want families, right? Even if you know you want 1 child, is it a guarantee that you'll have one just because you pick a younger woman? No. There are women that have fertility issues younger, but is it more likely that it's going to be a problem if she's older? Yeah, it just is, right? It just is. It's just biology. Doesn't mean if you marry someone older, it's guaranteed to be a problem. But let's just look at, if you're weighing like, what are my odds here? That's how you're going to weigh them, right? Would you want to go out, just women, be honest. Would you want to go out into the dating marketplace, be single and be competing? If you're 42, would you want to compete with your 29-year-old self? Would you? Now, I know there'll be someone out there say, I look way better now than I did at 29 because you feel the need to defend where you are now. I get it. It's like a defensive thing that happens. But really think about it. Would you? Would you want to compete with your 29-year-old body and face and fertility? Would you? Most would probably say no. If you put them on a lie detector test, they're going to say, well, no, I wouldn't. Not to say you can't be successful and find a relationship. You may. You may get lucky. I got really lucky. Right? I got really lucky considering that I goofed a lot. I did. I lived in the wrong place. I didn't just pick up and move my butt out of New York City where there were a bunch of feminist men. I, bought the line that, oh, Dad, you're so anxious. You're not going to be good with kids. You shouldn't have kids. And I swallowed it for years. I got into a career that kind of just like was tumbling into where it was leading me, even though I wasn't happy or fulfilled doing it because it was boatloads of stress. But I'm not sitting here. I don't look back at my life and feel the need to, I need to justify what I did. So I'm going to tell women to do the same thing. No, it worked out for me. God's plan worked out for me. I have a beautiful child. I have an incredible husband, and that's awesome. And I'm extremely grateful for that every day. But would I tell women to do what I did? I wouldn't. Because you're running a risk. You're running a risk that it's not going to work out for you if you delay all of these things. You just are, right? And maybe it wouldn't have worked out this way. And I have to look back and be grateful for my lessons because it led me here. But I want to give advice that for the vast majority of people is going to help you. And waiting and saying, I could sit here and say, I had a baby at 40, you'll be fine. Am I doing you a favor by saying that? Or am I ignoring the reality that a lot of women who try to have a baby at 40, it just doesn't go so well. And it would have gone a lot better if they had tried at 28, just biology, right? And maybe it would have gone a lot better if they had avoided all that stress of the career climb. I was lucky in a sense because I taught for years. That wasn't stressful. TV for me started late. It started in my 30s. And even so, I had a very lax attitude about it, to be honest with you. I got lucky. I was not ambitious. I was not. When I met my husband, people say, well, you met your husband and he was with you. This is a great point to make. You met your husband and he was with you and you were on TV and he's a masculine guy. When I met my husband, do you know I was working at Fox News and I was doing at some point I started doing some guest stuff on The View. I used to go into work one day a week when I met my husband. I used to do a show I loved to do. It was called Red Eye. It was at night. It used to film from, I think it was like 8:30 to 9:30. It was fun. It was like comedians. I used to go in one day a week on Tuesdays and do that. And I would book a show right before that because I was already done and it was 10 minutes before. And I knew they wouldn't fire me because I was like on air for 2 shows a week. I was like, I can get away with this. And the rest of the week was mine. That's what I was doing when I met him. I backscaled it because I met him and I was like, oh, I don't want to do all this work stuff. I want to do my walks and curl my hair, So people always think, oh, career. And I took the View stuff. I had a long conversation about that. I was like, I don't want to be on TV every day. He was like, you got just try it. Try it. He was like, try it. It's fine. It was easy. The View was so easy. It's a joke, by the way. They sit in the back room with you and they write. They're like, oh, you got to have somebody there to talk through talking points. I used to be like, dude, can you leave? I know how to do this. No, let's make sure. Because I got to make sure you're not going to say something off the wall and spook out a politician. It's the easiest thing on the planet. But even that, I was like, when I got fired, I was like, I'm just not that upset. Went to the gym after that, had more time to cook. And I was in please, you don't know a lot about my life. But bottom line is don't give women advice to delay. Just don't. It's just not good advice. And a lot of them are going to wind up unable to have kids, unable to find a husband, miserable, unhappy, and wishing they hadn't taken the Chelsea Handler advice is all I'm going to say. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It has been a blast. I will see you back here soon. Miss you. Love you.